But will a few platitudes about a more socialist platform really be enough to quiet all those never Hillary voices we heard? Joining me right now, progressive radio host Chris Hahn and Bernie supporter Harlan Hill. All right, Bernie, first to you. You're never Hillary. What do you think of how this all went down?
Well, it's just a continuation of the flip-flopping that we've seen Hillary Clinton engage with for years. She is, I think, on the issues, the most bipolar candidate that I've seen in a generation. Back in 2008, she was for immigration reform and a wall. Now she's against it, right? She used to be against the minimum wage increase. Now she's for it. The list goes on and on. She was a warmonger. She has been since Vietnam, and she's voted for every single war that we've engaged with and has advocated for more. And now she says that she's an agent of peace. I don't know what we're getting with Hillary Clinton. And as a Bernie Sanders supporter, this is a very frustrating position to be in. I want to know what she actually believes. Well, and I don't trust her right now. She's lost my trust.
This is part of the whole issue, right? Yes. She's got a resume, as Caroline said. She's so qualified. She's so qualified. Well, part of the problem with her having this big, giant resume is that she's got a history that everybody can watch and see, investigate. And Chris, she has flip-flopped over and over and over again. I don't know. What is the Hillary Clinton that's really running right now?
I think she's a pragmatist, and I think that Bernie Sanders voters need to get over it, or they're going to help Donald Trump get elected.
She's a pragmatist. And that means she'll say anything to get elected.
Hey, Harlan, grow up a little. I let you speak. Why don't you sit down for a second, okay? And let the adults talk.
All right, we don't need to insult anyone.
Oh my
here,
God,
Chris.
so patronizing.
Well, you know, here it is. The bottom line is that the Bernie Sanders voters got a lot from the Democratic Party. They moved the party to the left, and I thank them for that because we have been drifting to the center right, and that was not good. Now it's time for them to understand that politics is about compromise, and they've got to work with the person who's going to best represent their ideals, and that is Hillary Clinton.
Why haven't we heard more from the Democratic Party, from the DNC? Why not an apology for what they did? I mean, let's face it, if you're Harlan or any of those supporters that were taken to the streets there in Philadelphia, you feel really burned right now. You feel burned because your greatest fears, turns out they were actually true. The DNC was working against your candidate.
Well, what did they expect? He wasn't a Democrat. Did he think the Democratic Party was going to open up their arms to them? Bernie understood this the entire time, and they did wind up getting the scalp of the Democratic Party chair. So they should be happy. There's going to be real change. There's going to be an opportunity for them to shape the party, and they should work with that.
Go ahead,
Chris is emblematic of the pompous, dismissiveness with which Hillary Clinton supporters refer to Bernie Sanders supporters. You don't actually want to compromise and reconcile the party. You want us to shut up and sit down. And I'm not going to have it.
I
was in Philadelphia and I listened to him finish.
No, you said to
shut up. Yeah, this is so frustrating because I have had to listen to this for months, and we were told that we were conspiracy theorists when we thought that the Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC was conspiring against Bernie Sanders, and lo and behold, it turns out that now we have evidence to prove it.
You know what?
And you're trying to dismiss us again.
This is a generational thing, I think, Harlan. Because when I was 19 and I supported Jerry Brown and I lost, I got on board with Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton was right for the party and right for the country. It's time for Bernie Sanders voters to do the same exact thing now with Hillary Clinton.
Well,
it's time for you to understand that she's the best way forward.
And stop with the
nobody told you to shut up and sit down. If we had done that, you wouldn't have even been at the convention, let alone insulting the President of the United States, the First Lady of the United States, our party's nominee.
There's evidence. The DNC put white noise machines above Bernie Sanders' contingents at the DNC.
There's no evidence of that.
Well, let me tell you guys, I was in that room.
There's photographic evidence.
I was in the room. I was near the California delegation there on the floor, and I heard them shouting, chanting, "No TP, no TPP." And you know what happened? Immediately, other supporters of Hillary Clinton went against those Bernie supporters, and they started shouting Hillary, trying really to drown them out. So look, all I'm saying is you hear the emotion, Chris, in Harlan's voice right now, and that is very indicative of the emotion that all of these Bernie Sanders supporters feel.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, grow up, get used to it. This is politics. This is the way it works. But shouldn't it be a little more than that? Why is there no apology from the DNC? Why can't they do a little more to make these guys like Harlan feel better?
I think there has been. I think there are a lot of people in the Bernie camp who have come along. I think Harlan is an outlier. I think there are many outliers like Harlan that eventually will either come along, illusion with politics, or they'll face the reality that politics is about compromise. This is not like ninth grade softball where everybody gets a ribbon. This is real.
Who are you voting for?
Big beanbag.
Harlan?
I'm voting for Trump. I'm voting for Trump, the only ideologically consistent candidate on trade.
All right, this is the danger for you guys, Chris.
God help you.
Thank you so much. We're going to leave it there. Chris, I'm going to see you again in a little bit. Democrats barely mentioning the threat of ISIS at their convention.